Now, all right. Hello. This is I'll go by your name, JTD Mercury.
Mercury. Uh,
But yeah, this is gonna be a One Piece podcast. I've been wanting to do it for a while. We planned this out a week in advance, and I'm on hardly any sleep. So let's see how this goes. And JTD says he has a bunch of family where he's at. So far, we hear nothing. Hopefully, you hear nothing over my end. let's let's start. So what got you into One Piece? Before we go and talk about what's going on right now.
um, I think honestly it was from Ham, our mutual friend.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the one that got me into it. I think he went. Well, I used to work with him
Mm-hmm.
back in 2012. So he would ask me like, "Hey, have you heard about this?" I was like, "No, I haven't." It's like, "I think you'll like it. Just give it a try." And I had just also what brought that up is because I also had just finished my first manga, which was Berserk, and or I didn't finish it. I caught up,
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, I want to read something else or watch something else, and he happened to be in the in the room when I said that, so he just told me like you should read and watch One Piece, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I checked it out. Like I did my own research to see if it was good, and on the reviews, like one of the things that just stood out a lot was just like it's really good, it's just extremely long. So and then I didn't know it was that long
Yeah.
until I checked out how many episodes there were at, and at the time I believe it was like 800 and some. So I was like, holy crap.
They were
Wow.
probably like
I don't
in
know.
before Dressrosa. They were probably like in Punk Hazard or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly where they were at um, when I first came on board on
Oh
that. So
man,
it's like,
all late.
I know,
Not
right,
even. There's
very
people
late,
getting
very
in now,
late.
and that's late. You've been.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. I mean, at least for those, it's gonna take them a while to catch up, unless there's freaking speed reading or speed watching or binging, you know.
Hmm.
Um, I always tell anybody like if they ever decide to watch it, just watch it at your own pace. You don't have to feel, that you have to catch up immediately.
Yeah.
So
You would
it's your
prefer
own
to
journey.
would you recommend people to watch it or to read it? What would you say?
Uh, I think the anime is more enjoyable,
Mm-hmm.
but the manga is very straightforward. I mean, that's typical for for any type of show that's anime that's currently ongoing, and then the manga, right? So, but like with this, I enjoyed it because it has that personal touch that the manga does not provide always. Whereas you're wondering how things sound, you're making it live. So it's good to see, especially the fights, the informational wise. Um, it's very straightforward in the manga versus like you having to go to the anime and having to listen and read and wait patiently versus your time. So if you really want to catch up, I guess manga. But if you really want to enjoy it, the full one effect, I think anime is the best way to go for that. But always go back to your notes in the manga. When did this happen?
I I recommend watching the anime before the time skip, and then just read the manga after the time skip. That's what I feel like how it should be done. Well, anyway, how you prefer. But yeah, with me, like um, I just always thought One Piece was wacky back when they showed it on 4Kids back in Fox. I would sometimes watch Sonic X and One Piece would be on, or I'd wait to see like something else on
Yeah, I
another
remember that.
channel. And yeah, I'd put it on, and I just thought it was like Looney Tunes, really funny, wacky stuff. Like they were in an Alabasta arc, and I just couldn't stop laughing. Like I thought it was so.
Yeah.
They were just doing super funny, like the whole scene with Ace and Smoker, and this was the bad dub version. And then
Oh,
years later,
okay.
I'm like, man, this is good. I was in high school and I kept hearing about it. I was all into Naruto and I kept seeing stuff about One Piece, and I saw that the One Piece anime was in Water 7. I was seeing pictures. I'm like, man, apparently it was all like super popular, really popular at that moment. And yeah, I started watching it online. In Japanese I started over. People kept saying that, so I started watching it subbed on at my grandma's house where I live now, actually. And I would watch it in school, in the library, and by the time I caught up to the anime, they were on Thriller Bark. The anime was in Thriller Bark towards the end, and then yeah, I started watching it weekly until they got to Marineford, and I just couldn't wait anymore.
Oh my gosh!
And I just started reading. I started reading it after that, and I didn't even catch up. The moment they got to Fishman Island, the time skip, I got kind of overwhelmed by all the text, and I took maybe like a 6-month break, 1-year break, and then one day my grandfather went to the hospital and I was in the waiting room I just busted out my phone and I started reading and I was all hooked. They were in Punk Hazard. So when I caught up, they were in Punk Hazard, and Punk Hazard just had all the crazy reveals. But Fishman Island is building up. It's becoming a better arc. The more stuff they reveal, more lore. I'm liking Fishman Island more.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Like Oda just threw a bunch of stuff at us. I'm like, what the f is a Joy Boy? This Noah arc, like, it meant nothing to me, and nothing to us at that time. Now it's slowly meaning more and more. Kind of want to rewatch the arc later down the line. And then speaking of Fishman, what?
I was gonna say, well, I mean, like that's what exactly I'm doing with Frank right now. I'm not watching it in its entirety because I mean, I'm not. I've already been there. I already watched it twice. That's another story I need to tell. But I'm watching it in chunks, and I'm enjoying it a little bit more because, it will never be like the first time finding out reveals stuff, right? But now that I do know that stuff and I'm going back, I'm actually enjoying it a little bit more because, you could see all the foreshadowing, how good the storytelling is, because you saw that that's where first got planted, and so it's like, to the viewer, I'm not gonna tell like Frank, like, hey, that is super important, that's gonna go down, like, okay, I'll say like, hey, something does importantly happen in this scene, this is a very informative episode, but I don't tell him what exactly he needs to look for. I just tell him, like, spoilers. Just pay attention to it.
But no, that can help. Yeah. And the whole thing with like I was saying about Punk Hazard, like every week was like something a crazy reveal, like Law coming out or spoilers. But yeah, like it's crazy. Like I remember, and then just going on from there, I've been reading it, I think only twice. One time I just got busy with life. I didn't read it for like 2 weeks or a week. So 1 week I had 2 chapters to read. But besides that, I've been caught up with the manga. I read it. It's something to look forward to.
Well, I mean, I did take a break as well. Whenever it was,
I remember
I caught up with the anime, and it stopped right before Dressrosa. So it had just finished. It was Punk Hazard. And so I was like, all right, well, then I'm gonna start reading the manga. The manga was pretty much everything after Dressrosa.
Yeah, you just didn't read during Dressrosa. I remember. That was how long it was. You just didn't.
I know. And it was. Well, no. I was reading Dressrosa with you. That's where I stopped, and I took a break because I didn't. I was like every week, it was like, dude, I gotta let the chapters pile on, and that's where I took a break. I think I took like a 2-year break, and then that's when you told me, like, hey, I needed to start reading it more because that's whenever it's Big Mama's arc, right? So it's like
But yeah, the really Dressrosa arc, I guess it hit us different because that arc, that was even like, I still think that was an amazing manga arc. Every week, I didn't know. Good. Every week, I had no idea what was gonna happen. Like, I'm like, damn, what's Oda gonna throw at us this time? Like, is he, like, all these reveals, the National Treasure, Doflamingo, Corazon, like who could be a doll? Who there could be some really important character? Like, who's with all these characters in the arena? Who's in the armor? Like, who's this knight? Like, I loved it. So many mysteries.
And it also showed, what happens to the fruit that the person had ate and already had passed. It's Ace's fruit, right?
Yeah.
So that's why that was I think the first bat was like, okay, how did he acquire it? How did he know where to look for it? Like, there's still those other questions that I don't think, I don't know, that's not really in the forefront of everyone's mind. Like, how do they refine this fruit? Where does it come back? Well, anyway, but like that was very important. That stood out to me. And then of course, who got to ended up eating the fruit, right? Well,
Yes.
Luke
Oh,
can't have it, right?
that reveal was probably
That was really good.
one. I think that's one of the best moments in the manga. But probably my favorite moment in the manga. Chapter 731. I'm never gonna forget that chapter. Operation Sop. That I remember. I was like, I did not see that coming, and that was already with all the crazy reveals. And I'm like, I loved this arc. And but yeah, just so many. That arc is so important. And then it was mentioned way back when they first revealed Doflamingo, when they show him with Kuma. He talks about how he has an island to run. He was mentioning Dressrosa.
Yeah.
But yeah, all these callbacks, like, it's just, there's just one I want to bring up with Doria and Bragi, like the two giants. Do you remember? You know who those two are from Little Garden? Yeah, but they're really important.
Yeah, no, they've been like a concurrent, like, you know, well, it was in Annie's Lobby, right? Where they ran into those, into the other ones.
Oni and Kashi.
Oni and Kashi, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were there. They were asking about them.
Oimu and Kashi. Oimu. There you go.
Yeah. And then the reoccurring theme where it's just giants in total. Like something very important is going on there. Like they refer to the giants as something different, as some, I don't know. Like I always feel like they're, since now we're talking about the origins of like right now we're talking about how in what is his name, Dr. Vegapunk, where he's talking about the technologies that were in the past, but they look, you know, like they were just, you know, recently made, or the technology looks way more advanced
in the past than it does today.
Yeah, and then like, but they were very larger, so that got me thinking that maybe the original, you know, people there were probably giants, which is why you see descendants as of right now. So Elbaf actually did stand out to me because of that. Something's very important that's going on there, and then of course in Little Garden you got to see the people that are supposed to be going back, right? And now the other people are just like waiting out there.
You know back. That people are saying that there's a tree that apparently is supposed to go from Elbaf to Sky Island, and it's supposed to be this really big tree, and it connects to Sky Island. There's this other way to get to Sky Island, and people think it's from Elbaf.
Well, they did mention there's another way to get to Sky Island. And they said multiple of islands led there. That's what I remember, what they had said. So,
and people think it's the beanstalk, Giant Jack. They think Giant Jack is what's at Elbaf, that big tree that's at Elbaf. So it's probably could be Giant Jack also, and I think that's really interesting.
Giant Jack, is it what?
The big beanstalk that Luffy was on.
Oh,
remember that?
Oh, I see.
In Sky Island.
Okay.
But we never saw the base. Yeah. They never showed the base. We were just in the way top of it.
True.
True. And I think it even may have gotten, some of it got cut down. I'm not sure. But yeah, like there's that whole thing, and then the whole, I was hearing things like how Shanks is based off Tyr, some like Norse mythology. I never saw that. Like he has like a Viking theme going on, and then I kind of got that theme going on at Elbaf.
You do know originally One Piece was not going to be a pirate theme. It was going to be a Viking theme.
Yeah, that was Oda. It was one of his favorite cartoons as a kid. Apparently, it was some Viking show. Yeah, I thought that's really interesting too. But I like how when I first saw the dub, I thought of Looney Tunes. It was wacky. I got that wackiness, and I could tell that's what he was going for, especially with Gear 5th, that whole wacky vibe. And slowly, like he was really inspired by Tom and Jerry too. A lot of Luffy's attacks are from Tom and Jerry. I was noticing that.
Yeah. And then of course now the animation kind of looks, well, he drew it based off that, so you could see the resemblance right away. So, but one thing I did want to talk to you or bring up, I remember there was a theory, and I did pass this theory back to my cousin, who at the time was still reading it or
Mm-hmm.
watching it. He's caught up now, but the theory is, I remember you bringing up, was that whenever Blackbeard had taken Whitebeard's power in Marine Ford, you had mentioned about a specialty knife that was probably used
Oh
to
yeah, that
kill.
was a long time ago. Yeah, there's they were like, what's his name? Burgess,
Burgess.
Jesus Burgess. The four kids Jesus, not Jesus. But yeah, he had this knife. Like he knew what to do. He seemed really confident in his ability to be able to take Luffy's fruit away. Not saying that he was gonna be able to do it, but because he can't take out. Like, there's no way he could take down Luffy, but he knew what to do. He seemed really confident in like the steps and how to take out the devil fruit. And maybe, yeah, like it has something to do with a person's shadow. You trap their shadow. Like Blackbeard didn't show what he did. He was hidden in there. Maybe when a person dies, they're like Big Funk said. Yeah, when a person dies, some spirit comes out. There's like something comes out of them, like their soul, and it weighs a certain amount of weight. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what they get. They catch that. They stop that soul from coming out. They get the shadow or something like that.
They trap it, like they trap it. Uh, yeah, I can see that, I guess.
But
Just
also
that,
like the whole thing with what's his name, Hogback. He did research on that with the whole and like the shadow.
soul thing.
Yeah, and
Oh,
the shadow.
well,
Yeah, the
that's
soul.
true.
Yeah, so maybe that's where Vegapunk got the info at. And
It,
yeah.
it, it was funny. I was mentioning to Frank the other day. It's yesterday actually, because he had asked the questions like, well, he was asking, well, Zoro lost his third sword, right? Well, he got rusted, right? And I was like, I wonder why he didn't pick up that elephant blade as like that looked OP, like the elephant ate that fruit. I was like, no, it's the other way around.
Yeah, the sword.
The
Yeah.
sword ate the fruit, and it was an elephant. He's like, wait, how is that possible? And like because it was then in Ennie's lobby, that's where they first dropped Vegapunk's name.
That's true. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Yeah, and which is why it's kind of good to watch it in little chunks, right, like that. Because when I first heard his name, I was like, oh shit, they went all the way back here. So, and also to showcase what he was working on at that time also as well, right? Like he's influencing or fusing these weapons, right, to have devil fruits. Not even something that's biologically alive, right?
Well, speaking of, people were saying that Mihawk is a sword. Have you been hearing that? That Mihawk has like, he is a sword. He's not a human, and he's just looking for a worthy opponent. That's his journey. That's his goal. Finding someone worthy enough to wield him. It's
So
like,
then
but because like
what are you saying?
things have spirits.
Did that-
Like the whole thing with Zoro's sword Enma.
Oh,
It has the Reaper.
yeah.
And the whole thing with Hakuba, which is, I'm gonna bring up Blackbeard right now. Hakuba and what's his name, Cavendish. When Cavendish goes to sleep, Hakuba comes out. You remember that? That other, he has a cursed sword.
Oh yeah.
So probably the spirit takes over. And then what if that's why Blackbeard is scared, doesn't go to sleep? What if another spirit takes him over when he goes to sleep? But yeah, apparently Blackbeard does not sleep. And that's why he's when Cavendish goes to sleep, yeah, he becomes Hakuba.
I was just watching, well, on Netflix, right? The actually the last episode they actually have on Netflix is the fight between Blackbeard and Ace.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that's where it ended. So I was able to watch it, right? Because that's where Frank was at the time. So I watched it, and it was going over his abilities, right? That's whenever he was talking about and how he was able to draw everything in his total darkness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still trying to think, like, they haven't really gone much more over his ability, other than, well, the other thing too is that he was what always forgetting what type of devil fruits types. If I'm not mistaken, it's the Promisia, right? The one that the body can be changed,
Per-
or as like Smoker.
yeah, that's paramecia. Yeah.
So that is his
No, wait, is that
category of.
Logia? Oh, I need to look this up.
Yeah, see, okay, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, this is
I just know zone type is like usually
yeah.
referring to different
Zone's the
types of
easy one.
transformations,
Zone
right?
is the easy one.
It's Promisia and Logia. If I'm not
Paramecia.
mistaken, I want to say Logia is what Luffy is, and then like Promisia is whatever
Yeah,
like Smoker is.
Smoker's a Logia, and Luffy's a Zone.
Oh, so it's the other way.
Yeah.
Oh well, now we know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Smoker needs
Yes,
a power
that's correct.
boost. He's pretty underpowered right now. He just got
Yeah.
wrecked post
Okay.
time skip.
So I'm trying to think. So if so if Smoker is a Logia, then another one that would be an example of a Promisia is what? Is somebody, well, what probably what Luffy was categorized before finding out his origin of his fruit.
Yeah, the Gomu Gomu no Mi, the Logia. It's like the
Here, let me see.
Paramecia. Paramecia fruits. The most common fruit apparently. Recently, the creation of the artificial paramecia has been discovered by Vegapunk using the lineage factor of real paramecia users. However, paramecia types cannot be fully artificially recreated. Only the abilities can be copied. Oh, so like Kizaru's ability, the laser beams, that's a paramecia. And the Mr. One's ability, that's also a paramecia. So like how S-Hawk has Mr. One's ability, but not the whole devil fruit, just some of it. Like Robin's devil fruit.
Oh, I see.
The Ope no Mi.
So, this is what Logia. Okay.
But yeah, I think like in Logia you become that thing, like a smoke and stuff, but paramecia you get like different kinds of abilities. You get to like transform your body into things, like how Robin does things and Mr. One does things, and you're able to manipulate your surroundings also. Like
Logia would be considered like what Smoker is, what I'm looking here, Mr. Crocodile. Oh, okay, this is a better Logia user types.
The rarest is the rarest of the three though. That's what it says here.
So
like, yeah, people
that would be considered Ace.
Logia, yeah, like Kozen, Enel, Crocodile. It's people you could turn completely into. Yeah. So yeah, that's
so that's why Ace was kind of confused whenever he was able to hurt, Blackbeard.
Well,
because he was a Logia user and he was considered, he's darkness, right?
Yeah. But light versus dark.
Special type.
Yeah.
But he was said that he actually had to absorb everyone's attacks. That his was different, and I think honestly the guy that goes in, I don't know, that goes into a deeper level as if darkness, like in total darkness. Also, I guess you can make a reference to.
Ace
like,
was super
depression.
overconfident with his devil fruit ability. He had Conqueror's hockey and he didn't even use it. He probably knew how to use all the forms of hockey. But he just relied so much on his Devil Fruit. I think he used the strongest attack too. It was like a
Yeah.
sun. He summoned a sun, like some infinite power, probably that Vegapunk was looking for. He's looking for some infinite power source, like a sun. Well, that's what Ace was able to summon. But yeah, like his biggest counter was Blackbeard, and right now Blackbeard might be facing off against Garp, and Garp is probably Blackbeard's
right,
like
'cause
big
they
worst
passed
matchup.
the
Yeah,
opioid.
but Garp is all about hockey, so yeah, he probably cancels out Blackbeard's. Like he might be one of Blackbeard's natural enemies, Garp. So yeah, we could see something happening to Garp. But way back to what we were talking about right now about the devil, like the objects with devil fruits. That I think that's really interesting. There was another one, some teapot in Wano that was a tanuki. The teapot had the tanuki fruit. Did you remember that?
So
There was a teapot in Wano, yeah, and it had the tanuki fruit or whatever. So it was a tanuki that would move as like a teapot. I thought that was really, and it had a big nut sack. That's the thing about tanukis; they have like a big nut sack. And there was another one, the one from Alabasta. I forgot the Mr. Number guy, but the one with the baseball bat. His gun was a dog.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And his dream is to become a pizza delivery man or something like that.
Speaking of pizza, I have some stuffed crust.
But then also with the whole thing I was saying with something, there's spirits, like the whole, like the sword, Mihakabi's sword, the whole thing with the sword Funkfried, like the devil fruits. Maybe that was like somebody wanted to be a sword or an elephant or something. Like what I was gonna get at was whose was it? It was Blackbeard's fruit. Whose fruit was I gonna talk about? Damn, my head went blank. We'll get back to it right now. I forgot what I was gonna say. It was about Funkfried,
Okay.
and oh man, it was good. The souls. Well, whatever. But yeah, he was about Burgess and his knife, about how he could take the devil fruit powers. We still don't know how that's done, but probably like, yeah, you want to kill the person, and the moment the soul leaves, you get their soul, you stop it from leaving.
Yeah, and that's why also too he challenged Sabu,
Yeah,
because he felt confident that he was gonna be able to go ahead and do something about it, which what I thought, because I was watching, Dressrosa whenever I already had read the manga, so I already knew everything was happening, right? So I'm just watching, just to see it, and I was wanting to see if it was going to be portrayed differently, but
well,
no.
yeah, Burgess just had that really strong tech that he was super overconfident in, and yeah, Sabo destroyed it. But yeah, that was a really cool fight, and that was one of the coolest panels. I thought, like the clash between them, the elbow and but yeah, we still don't know how he got the devil fruit powers, and oh man, I just wish I remember.
My question is too, is that did he use his devil fruit power to do that in a combination of that? Or is there a different, like what we're talking about?
No, now he has the
Or
devil
there
fruit.
is an
He has that stronger devil fruit. So now, somebody's behind you. But yeah, he has a stronger devil. Yeah, so now he's like super strong. So that is really interesting. And then yeah. But back to what we were talking about, that attack he did. That was a really strong attack. He was using Rio, like the whole like a shock thing coming out of it. Like he did an attack and like it did something, a shockwave coming out. That was pretty much Rio, advanced form. And what I wanted to bring up about Dorian Bragi, I didn't realize, I was rewatching the clip, and I honestly think that attack they did to take out that goldfish was the strongest attack in the series until like Big Mom and Kaido did that attack together, and Zoro tanked it like a boss.
Do, do you, I was gonna say, do you think they were using hockey too?
Yeah, they were using everything. That was an advanced form of like, that was probably an advanced like Conqueror's hockey attack they did. But yeah, if you watch that scene, like, there was no attack in the show besides when Big Mom and Kaido do that attack again, that powerful. Like even pre time skip, that move looks OP AF. Like, not even Luffy could survive that attack. No one would survive that attack. And then yeah, we see Big Mom and Kaido do that same attack again, but their version, and yeah, Zoro just takes it.
So Kaido is considered, well, he's calling himself, what do they call him?
Strongest creature.
No, yeah, creature.
Yeah.
Yes. What does he refer himself to? As a orc or what?
Oni. An Oni.
No, an Oni, but like
Joy Boy.
those people. No. It's like a species, a race. It's kind of like a fantasy race.
The Onis.
Like
yeah, the Oni race. He was calling his daughter the Oni princess.
Yes. But what are the orgs? I'm sorry.
Orcs?
That's referred to. Orgs.
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 Oars.
Yeah. So
you mean oars?
Oars.
Oh, the oars race.
Orgs,
Yeah.
Or, you know.
The continent holder.
Yeah. So he's in that sense, both him and Big Mama. Well, Big Mama is considered a giant, right? And there's that backstory of why there were no other giants inside her island, right? So that's still yet to be discussed in that aspect, right? As to why there's something happened. So either way, she's a giant, but Kaido isn't. So how does Kaido know that move if he's not a giant?
Well, they have history from Rox's crew. They probably fought together. Big Mom gave Kaido the devil fruit. And it's not even a dragon devil fruit. It's a fish devil fruit. And the fish becomes a dragon, kind of like when you... But yeah, Kaido, his fruit wasn't even awakened. He just... Like, I think when he was in Rox's crew, he was probably like an amateur. Like, he wasn't even that strong. He got stronger later on.
I think so too.
And, but yeah, he... strongest creature, and Whitebeard was the strongest human. And Luffy has the most ridiculous devil fruit power. I think that's what they say.
Yeah, most OP as of right now. He's only limited by his.
But yeah, speaking of that, the whole we saw how right now Law is fighting Blackbeard. They all went their own way. Law went towards, I think, Hachinotsu. Kid went towards Elbaf, and Luffy went towards Egghead. And Kid is gonna be facing Shanks. And who is Luffy gonna be facing? Are we gonna be putting Lucci in the same level as Blackbeard and Shanks, or would you consider that Kaido? Because Luffy took Kaido down by himself, and we're gonna see how Kid and Law fare on their own. Maybe they got what they needed, the boost. Maybe they don't. But yeah, I do not see Kid winning. And now Shanks got those giants on his team, and they seem OP. And it seemed like Kid had to get a really big power boost in Wano, and I know he did. And people were saying that he might just come out while on the ship still with a big rail gun and just shooting Elbaf with his awakening with this big gun, and it's gonna give Shanks trouble. Also, the whole thing with, we don't know where, I hate this character, Bartolomeo is, the Luffy fanboy.
Oh yeah.
Because with Shanks, the last time we saw Shanks talking, minus the movie, was he was gonna go take care of Bartolomeo, because Bartolomeo was tarnishing the Shanks flag, Red Hair Pirates flag, and he was gonna go teach him a lesson. What lesson was taught to him, and how will Luffy react to that? We were like, well, you shouldn't have messed with Frank. We should have messed with Shanks, Frank. You shouldn't have messed with Shanks. That's all on you. Like, maybe he might be like that, or maybe he'll get mad, like, how dare you? Or maybe if something really bad happens to Kid, Luffy might be upset with Shanks.
Yeah, maybe. I still,
Or
I'm not
they
100%.
might
I'm
give
not.
him the Giants and Elbath might give him the red carpet because he is part of what took out Big Mom, and the Giants hate Big Mom after what she did. She killed their elders when she was a kid, and she ate up like a bunch of their kids and adults when she was a kid too. During that whole scene when she went crazy with hunger.
Okay, maybe
And then
I read that wrong.
Speaking of that, when she snapped, do you remember in Punk Hazard, those kids, they had some
that's right.
problem, that hunger, right? They went wild. Don't you think that's like the same thing with Big Mom? They probably gave her like they gave her some giantification research, because like her parents were nothing like that. Her parents abandoned her. Big Mom's parents. So yeah, she might be like a successful giantification project or something. Because yeah, she's really strong right now. Like I think she's still probably the strongest Yonko. She's probably still stronger than Luffy. She just got cheap shotted. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe Luffy could beat her now.
Well, that's the thing, like, because I thought he had said he was gonna fight all of them.
Yeah.
Now, I know the way he likes to fight. He likes to fight 1v1. So he took down Kaido.
Well, fighting doesn't mean you're gonna beat him. Doesn't mean he's already clashed with Big Mom. He's clashed with Kaido. Never clashed with Shanks. Hasn't clashed with Blackbeard as a Yonko, as one Blackbeard or him.
So it's very hard. It's very hard for a character to die in One Piece. There's a few exceptions, right?
Flashbacks. Also, you're immune to dying if your name starts with the P.
So, I'm not entirely sold that Big Mama and Kaido are dead.
Yeah, I don't think they're dead either. Big Mom said that that's not gonna kill her, and we have yet to see Kaido awaken his fruit, so we still need to see that. But yeah, Kaido.
You don't think that him being in that form was a form of an awakening?
No, we just saw his hybrid and his full zone fruit. That's it, and his human form. We didn't see his awake. He said it himself that devil fruits are nothing. The main power is hockey, and he was comparing to Roger. Yeah. So I think he just relied so much on hockey that he didn't really care about his devil fruit. Like he gave him a power boost. He liked his animal form a lot. I just think he just probably felt like, yeah, I'm a dragon, I'm a big guy. But yeah, he was mainly using hockey, and Luffy was able to keep up with him because yeah, Luffy was using Advanced Conqueror's hockey and all the different advanced hockeys, the advanced observation. He was using the advanced armament. Was putting with Rio. He was using all that stuff, all the advanced hockey. Kid can't use that. Law can't do that. Like, they have their fruits awakened, but I don't think. And yeah, Kid has Conqueror's hockey. I don't know about Law, but Kid can't do any of that. I don't think they showed Kid using any Rio or nothing. Maybe he saw Luffy doing it and he's gonna use it against Shanks.
That's the thing I was thinking to myself too. Like, none of them. Well, besides Luffy and Zoro, right? None of them are using Conqueror's hockey. Like, they don't have that, right?
Oh yeah, Zoro, I think Zoro's already Yonko level. He's probably at the level, if not stronger than Kid and Law, because he was doing Advanced Conqueror. He could use Advanced Conqueror's hockey. So Zoro could technically hurt anybody in the show. He could hurt Shanks with an attack. Zoro, like if Shanks isn't careful. Or even if Shanks block, I think Zoro can do some damage because he's able to use that stuff. I don't think he knows what he's doing, but he does it. He's scared Kaido. Yeah,
and I think that's. Hopefully Luffy gives him a heads up about that.
I think pre-time skip. I think Zoro was probably always stronger than Luffy pre-time skip. He was already using Rio and hockey way before Luffy was Zoro.
Probably. He was. No, he was, because like that was one of the things that was brought up in the Alabasta arc. Because when he was fighting Mr. One, like he was already getting hockey where he's able to feel different souls from like
he beat Mr. One with Rio.
Exactly.
and it
That's
took
true. That's
yeah
true because he had in order that was the only way he was able to kill him or to defeat him.
yeah. So he had to do it. Took Luffy years to figure out, or Yamato couldn't even learn it, and he did it like in a. But yeah,
So I thought it was interesting, right? So I was just googling. I was like, when did Oda went ahead and put like a hint of where when hockey came out, right? That was one of them. But what didn't come out straightforward about it, like that was kind of already hinted a lot more, was whenever Crocodile thought that Luffy was using hockey
oh
whenever
yeah.
he was hitting him, but then he noticed he was using blood.
He's like, bam, my super fruit
'Cause-
sucks. But you know, in the when Luffy and Zoro fought, remember in Whiskey Peak?
that cactus island. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
they had a Conquerors hockey clash. Two Conquerors were going against each other with against like Luffy thought Zoro really hurt them, and Zoro's like, "Yo, stop being an idiot. I didn't." So yeah, they were clashing. But yeah, they literally the lightning clash right there, right off the bat. They both are Conquerors, and then back to like how yeah, Zoro's also a part of the worst generation. So yeah, I consider him Yonko level. There's also Killer, who might also be really strong too, because Killer, even during when Zoro was doing all these feats on the rooftop, Killer still believed he was stronger than Zoro. He was saying like, "If only I had my swords against you." Or, Killer also cut Kaido.
True.
Oh, One Piece card game. This isn't the One Piece card game. That's because this guy Big Ron, when he clicks on the One Piece tag on Twitch, he always sees One Piece card game stuff, and he's like, "Yo, is this for the One Piece card game?" But what was I saying? What was I talking about?
We were talking about Killer.
Oh yeah, Killer.
Was able to
People, he hasn't showed his face yet either. People are saying that Killer could be Shiki's clone. Killer could be Shiki's son. Also, Killer has.
He was still bandaged up whenever they removed his mask.
Yeah, they never showed what he looked
right.
like. But he is blonde. He has the same kind of hairstyle as Shiki, that long blonde hair. But people are saying that maybe Shanks kills Kid, and Killer becomes the captain, and it'll give Killer a reason to want to get stronger, because Kid really has no reason, no drive or nothing. He's just getting shat on by Oda. Like what is gonna drive Kid? Well, right now I guess it's his friend Killer, but like yeah, like unless they explain what really happened, because apparently Kid didn't even make it to Shanks' crew. He was he got something took him down on the way to Shanks' crew. Either it was the shooter from Shanks' crew, or just somebody, cabin boy, or one of the trainees Kid couldn't even take down one of those guys. The monkey.
That's
But yeah,
right,
Shanks was
that's
talking
right.
about how like, yeah, I didn't even get to see him. I was waiting for him, but he didn't even get to come to my ship. Like he took him down. One of my cabin boys took him down, or what?
Free.
This was post time skip too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kid got a big boost in Wano, so we don't know yet.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I noticed from Law and Kid, that none of them are using. Yeah, they're not. Well, he's the only one that's using hockey, right?
Well, I
I
think
don't see Law. I don't even see Law using it. I don't see Kid using it.
Law was able to use
Just
hockey
under assumption that
because
they are.
that's how Law was able to take out Virgo. They had a hockey battle, and if Law lost, Law wasn't able to cut Virgo with his powers. Virgo was like, "I'm just gonna block your attack with my hockey. Like my hockey's superior. Your power, you're not gonna be able to cut me in half with your power But yeah, Law was able to cut him in half, show that his hockey was stronger. His will.
None of them possess the Conquerors, right?
Yeah, well, that too. But also, pretty much even Law said it too when he was fighting the Blackbeard Pirates. That you're able to, if your hockey is strong enough, you're able to cancel out powers, like the Doc Ock or Doctor, whatever, the doctor from the Death Doctor from Blackbeard's crew was using his Devil Fruit powers to make them become females. The Virus Fruit. And
Oh, that's right.
Law canceled it out with his willpower, with his hockey. He's like, if your hockey's strong enough, you could cancel it out. So would you be able to cancel out Sugar's fruit too? That's another. Maybe that fruit is different, and you can't cancel it. I've always thought about that.
That's true. That would go the same for
Also, because you know about the whole thing, like with the wills, like the dreams, you're not gone unless you're forgotten. That's a fate worse than death. The Hero Luke quote or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? And like, yeah, the whole Joy Boy. People remember Joy Boy. They remember Nika.
mm,
Their dreams. It became a fruit. Well, if you're a toy, you everybody forgets you. So maybe that cancels out the
yeah.
whole will thing in hockey. You can't. So if that's maybe Sugar's fruit's just super OP. You know, like also her thing, like a kid always wanted to be a kid forever, play with toys forever. That's what her dream is, the fruit of that. And then I just think that's interesting too. The whole thing with devil fruits, like people's dreams. That's yeah, it's people's dreams. Their dreams go in another dimension. I think that's how Vegapunk's works. And in that dimension, that's where the devil fruits are made. Like if somebody, I got
Is that
somebody.
what you said?
So, I have the quote right here. Let me load it up.
Because I remember what he was saying. Like these are like forbidden wishes or something like, or these are things that people would want to have, like a certain power.
Um,
It's like a wish list.
it's he said people who dream, people would think, like people who dream think this: if only I could do this, or only if I could be like that. Vegapunk claims that with those with powers exist in different dimensions dreamed up by others before them. Pretty much, yeah, but yeah. People's dreams are in another dimension, and in that dimension, that's where the devil fruits are made. There's like this other. He brings up other dimensions. There's another dimension, and like this reminds me of Chainsaw Man, because in Chainsaw Man, there's devils.
I haven't seen it.
Well, there's devils. And these devils are made based on people's fears. So if people are scared of guns, if enough people are scared of guns, a gun devil will be made. And depending on
Oh, I
how,
see.
like the gun devil was one of the strong, if not the strongest devil, because so many people are scared of guns. So it feeds off, it gets stronger like that. Like, you know, like so if somebody's scared of like Jason or like Freddy Krueger, there'll be a Freddy Krueger devil. There'll be, if you're scared of a certain like bug, spider devil, or if you're scared of nightmares, if you're scared of, there's the eternity devil, you're scared, like there's all these different fear things. And like the same thing with One Piece, somebody wished they could have been Nika, somebody wished they could, you know, have ice, turn things to ice. Also it could also go with how the person's personality is, like how people are like how Lucci is. He's I think a leopard devil fruit. That's his devil fruit. And like how he wants prey and all that, it goes with your personality. And how Luffy's always like laughing, his personality goes with it. Or maybe the person's previous will and the devil fruit is in you. But I thought that's really interesting. The whole thing with dreams. And then another thing, do you remember Mont Blanc cricket and the Sariyama alliance?
Cricket. Yeah. Oh yeah. The Sky Island. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Mont Blanc, the relative of Nolan, he believed there was a Sky Island, right? Well, there is. Luffy proved him right, right? Well, when you see him again in a cover story, him and the Sariyama Alliance, those two monkey guys, are looking for the Island of Dreams. Did you know that?
Nope.
What do you think is the Island of Dreams? It's
Island of Dream.
It's called the name of the
Or it's not Laptail.
no. I think I wrote it down here. I didn't. But yeah, I'm gonna add it on my thing right here. But in their cover story, they're looking for that. And where do you think? So, I'm pretty sure in the story they mentioned that the devil fruits they are formed in Marijois on the Holy Land. That is probably the Island of Dreams, and that's where the devil fruits are formed. That could be that other dimension. That's where that tree could be, that holy tree. Maybe that could be the national treasure.
It's crazy because yet think about it. They never show where they find these fruits, right? Where do you the only one that has been shown is the one that's been manufactured at Vegapunk. You never actually find a fruit where it originated
Well, they
from.
in Punk Hazard they did show a fruit form. When Smiley died, it goes to the next closest thing available. It could have like fruit or something, and there was like a basket of apples that Straw Hats were with when they were running away from that explosion, and Smiley's devil fruit got in one of those apples.
But is that artificial? Is that how it really works? Because remember, these are the
Yeah,
ones
it
that.
was a real devil fruit, and I think the Straw Hats still have that devil fruit. And then if Monet died, maybe people are saying that Monet's devil fruit might be in the Straw Hats ship because Nami has a bunch of orange. She grows oranges on their ship.
Interesting.
I was hearing about that. That was an old theory I used to read on Oral Jackson. I used to back when they were in Andres Rosa. Man, I was all into reading theories and all that. Like, but as another, I wanted to make videos because like I read it all the time. One Piece. I'm always reading theories, and I was like, man, I should make videos about this. Like, I'm always reading it. Might as well. I just want to talk about it. Like, there's no one I really
Sure.
could talk. I keep it all in. I want to let it all out. Like, I'm tired of just watching people talk about it. I want to talk about it too. I have all these ideas. I've been probably watching it longer, reading it longer, theory crafting it way longer than a lot of people that are probably doing stuff with it
That's true.
and take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's hard to explain whenever to somebody like who has not like read it or is wanting to read it, but like to explain it, it's since the story's so grand, right? There's so many moving parts. Like to have a full-on conversation with someone that already does, like has already read it. I mean, that's why I enjoy having these conversations with you, Danny, because like, well, we're both caught up and we can talk about these, right? Like inner discussions about it because there's, I mean, off based off the theories itself. I mean, the theories is one thing, but now let's talk about the inner grandeur of, you know, message that the creator is making, right? Since he has this platform, he's talking about, you know, things that were relative to us, right? And you can talk about the racism and the poverty that's being displayed, right? The mistrust between government and all that stuff. Like, it's hard to really see how that's so integrated within the story and also try to explain that to someone. Like this is a very good story as to the fact where they bring to light of these current events that we're having today, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's like
I
saying,
just honestly,
the bad guys are the good guys and the good guys are the bad guys. Like, what's good? What is the right form of justice? Like, yeah, there's a different, the lazy justice, the absolute justice. Like Luffy's views of how he doesn't think he's a hero. He doesn't want to
oh
be a
yeah,
hero. Like, they all have their own, like, what is it, the gray area? Like,
yeah,
this is there's like in between area. Like, you don't want to be too good. You don't want to be too bad. Like, something in between. I guess that's where you would say the main characters are at. But yeah,
yeah.
they are pirates, and pirates, yeah, they do pirate things.
They're outlaws.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
outlaws.
they're yeah, they're
It's
outlaws.
not like they're good
And
guys. Yeah, they're doing their. But the show, the manga, yeah, the show's portraying it like the series is like how they're good guys, they're saving people, and then the Big News Morgan is really also exaggerating too, making things more for. Oh,
oh
speaking
yeah.
of big news, he's a human that ate that bird fruit, and he doesn't like showing his human. Nobody knows what he looks like in his human form, and he goes
He
undercover.
ate a bird fruit.
Yeah, he goes undercover in his human form to get scoops, so nobody knows what his human form looks like.
Oh
That is
shit.
really, I think that's kind of fascinating.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I was always
He could
wondering
be any,
how
he could be anyone. Big News Morton could be anyone. That's another interesting thing. And but yeah, he's making.
watch it be the panda guy.
But right now, Big News is right above Egghead with Vivi and Wapol. They're there, so they might get messed around with Luffy. See Luffy there, but also I think I wouldn't be surprised if Kizaru was already there. He was at the speed of light, so somebody's controlling the Seraphim. It has to be the only one higher than Vegapunk is the Gorosei. So the Gorosei could be there, or maybe it could be Imsan. People are saying maybe even Imsan is there. Or maybe Vegapunk has some connection to that Gorosei, the Saturn. No, maybe they're brothers. Maybe they have some past. But yeah, or maybe the Seraphim. The Seraphim we haven't seen yet. S Snake, not S Snake. S Flamingo. S Moria. And
that's right. All the warlords.
S Clown,
right?
and S Crocodile. Right?
I was about to say.
They all hate Luffy.
Oh man, it's like watching.
The ones that we've seen, have some kind of connection with Luffy. They're not bad terms with him. They're not, but the ones we've yet to seen, maybe they don't want to take orders because they hate Luffy. Like the Doflamingo the Flamingo Seraphim. S Flamingo, is he really gonna want to help Luffy? Like, maybe he's the one doing the manipulating. Nobody could take control of him. Maybe he's the one doing the. Come on, it's Doflamingo. Yeah, and that guy's a conqueror. I still think Doflamingo has some of the most potential in the whole. He has an awakened double fruit. He has Conqueror's Haki. He just doesn't use any of the advanced forms of Conqueror's Haki. Or, yeah. His attack also. Doflamingo does an attack called like 16 strings or something. Yeah. It's I saw a video on this by his channel called by Arthur, and yeah, Doflamingo does an attack called like 16 bullets. This final clash with Luffy. Well, yeah, that has something to do with with God, like the holy thing, the bullets. Because when Imsan did that thing where Sabo was on that island, La Lucia, where that big bolt came down.
Oh yeah.
It was 16 beams of light. The same attack kind of Doflamingo used. Maybe he was trying to copy. Maybe that's the national treasure. Maybe he was trying to copy that. That was him trying to copy his cheapy version of it, his flea market at home version of that attack. But Doflamingo said that he knows what the national treasure is, and they're trying to kill him at Impel Down, but the poison guy is protecting Doflamingo. He protects prisoners. But yeah, like he knows something, and Doflamingo not only wants Law to use the immortality surgery on him, he also wants the operation. Remember the whole operation surgery where you could switch the personalities? I was seeing a theory that probably Doflamingo wants Law to switch his Dolphy's personality with Imsan because he knows of Imsan's existence. Not that many people know. That could be the national treasure. So Doflamingo's in that body. Then Law performs the immortality surgery on him. So the Gorosei will, because Doflamingo wants to rule the world. He's a ruler. He probably has the same mindset as Imsan, and he thinks that he'll be able to fool the Gorosei and everyone else.
Interesting.
Because yeah, he knows something nobody else knows, and what else is it? Like, also like the whole thing. I was seeing the thing where like with Roxy Zebek, we don't know anything about Zebek. All we know about Zebek is based off the fleet admiral, the previous fleet admiral. What's his name? Not the current one.
No, the one before, the one that turns into a Buddha or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. Buddha Devil Fruit. The Golden
Uh,
Buddha.
it's the Hiro no Mi model Diabutsu.
Doesn't say the dude's name. Who's the person using it?
Sen Sen
Sengoku.
Sen
Sengoku.
Sengoku. Sengoku. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Sengoku, he's the one. He wasn't there. He's just saying what he wants people to believe, that the God's Valley doesn't exist. Roxy Zebek's evil. But is that really? Maybe Roxy Zebek was a good guy. We don't know. Apparently, Kaido and Big Mom are so we're so against him. They don't even want to mention him. They're so ashamed of him that they don't even ever talk about him. Garp refuses to talk about it. And why did Garp help the Celestial Dragons if he hates them so much? There's something we don't know that happened. We don't know what happened on the island. Oda's keeping it from us. And for all we know, Roxy Zebek could have been trying to save the world. He wanted to rule the world. And you know, there's only two other characters in the show, in the series, that said they wanted to become king of the world, or ruler of the world. That's Stelly, Sabo's brother. You remember that person?
Oh yeah.
And you know
who, he's there. He's trying to get on the.
You know who the other person is?
Who?
Buggy. Buggy could be Roxy Zebek's son. We still don't know what Roxy Zebek looks like. Maybe he's got Buggy's nose.
I have a strong connection, or I feel like there is a strong connection that. How'd you say his name? Quebi or Quevic?
Oh, Stelly? Who?
The one that was the captain for the Rock Pirates.
Oh, Zebek. Roxy Zebek.
Zebek. Okay, I have a strong feeling that he's somehow connected to the guy that's currently there at the world government with these 5 elders.
Imsan.
Yes.
You do know the name of Blackbeard's ship, right? You know what it's called?
No. What is it called?
The Sword of Sebek.
Really?
Maybe Blackbeard has, maybe that's why he's scared to go to sleep, because Sebek could possess him. That's why he stays up. But yeah, the whole thing when Zoro and Luffy see him, like, those people, not him, those people, like, who are they referring to? All the Blackbeard pirates? Is it just Blackbeard? Like, who are they referring to? Like, who are those people?
Or maybe the people that have the D.
Yeah. And that's interesting. And then the whole thing with what was it, that big straw hat? Joy Boy is probably a giant, and that was his Joy Boy's straw hat.
That's why it goes back to my original theory, where like I have a feeling that humanity started off as giants.
That could be a thing too.
And that's why the Joy Boy was a giant, and that's why all the majority of the stuff that was
I think giant. Giants were called Nephilim, I think, back then, or there was a giant and a god. It was like giants were like the children of like gods and humans or something like that. And that's what giant was. And yeah, gods were mentioned in the show, in the series, and then there's giants. And then the whole thing with Oars, he's a continent puller. He was frozen. They found him frozen. Moria found him, like, the straw hats. The straw hats also frozen. Maybe Oars was Joy Boy. What will make even more sense, or parallels to that, is that Luffy, his shadow was in Oars. Maybe that was Joy Boy reuniting, like, you know, his Joy Boy's will reuniting with his body. And then eventually Oars was able to get the powers of Luffy, and he was using the Nika Nika no Mi powers, like maybe how I used to have them.
Interesting.
Could have been foreshadowing.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we pretty much know from Oda. There's a lot of foreshadowing, not letting us know if it's crucial or not until way later. But yeah, man, there's a lot. Maybe, you know, for future I guess casting or podcasting, whatever, we could discuss certain topics what we want to go over, certain arcs, maybe certain theories. We can have a layout of what exactly we're going to talk about, so that whenever we do come again, one, I'll get a refresher. Maybe we can talk about certain scenes, right?
Yeah.
And after doing like rewatching those scenes, and maybe in some key parts that maybe I've come up with, we can go over those things.
Also, the recent chapter too. There's a
Or
new chapter next week. That'll be something to talk
oh,
about.
that's right, that's right.
We have no content this week. I'm going off with what? Old stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was gonna have more things planned out. But yeah, it just happened a lot sooner than I thought it was. It was so I just made it happen.
That's cool.
I had some little notes, like I wanted to talk about the Dorian Broggy thing attack. Like I was looking into that the day before yesterday. I think I was like, man, I was really fascinated by that. Looking into it, and yeah, I was doing some research, like with the whole National Treasure and then the whole Blackbeard stuff, and
You know, we need to probably get like a place where it's like a shared, um, I guess a shared notepad or something like that we can like collaborate. Like, you know, maybe because there's some times where I'm just like I'm driving, right, and I sometimes think of the story in my head, right, and then now that I'm rewatching some of the stuff, right, because of Frank, you know, there's some things that pop in my head. Is like, hold on, maybe this doesn't sound right, or maybe this is something that we need to take a look at. How does this make sense? You know, and I need to jot that question down, and maybe that's where I can see some of your stuff too. If you have any, like, if you have any questions or thoughts, you know, that maybe
yeah.
just
What is that?
mind.
What is that egg on the ship of Shanks or Roger's ship? What was that egg?
Oh, yeah. Like there's a couple of things there that, right, just like, wait a minute, like what was one of my questions? Oh yeah, like for example, when they first gave everyone their wanted posters, right? I was thinking to myself like, wait, hold on. It originally for Sanji, it did have dead or alive, but now, then it
Wanted
switched
only
over,
alive. Yeah.
and then it switched over that. But like, um, like some things that are barely noted there. Like I was wanting to see. I couldn't remember if it was started off as just alive or not, but no, I was like, oh, okay, it did start off that way. So there are questions that I think.
But before they wouldn't show his face the right way. It was always a funny
No,
looking image.
yeah, exactly. The but there's some things that maybe that like now that I'm watching it again that I have like, wait a minute, hold on, I need to look this up, or maybe I have a question on how um it's like, hold on, maybe in this scenario would this have worked, or maybe, you know, a question that hasn't been answered, that maybe a question that has not been brought up, you know. So those are the ones that I think we need to have like a note pad that we can share, that we can jot down those questions that we can discuss here.
Also, like, yeah, some things that I wear in my head. Like I there was like two things I wanted to talk about and I completely forgot. I still can't remember what they were. And there was another thing now I wanted to mention. What was it? It wasn't the egg. It wasn't. It was something with the recent. Was it the recent chapter? What was it? It was really important, but yeah, I don't remember what it was. Something with. It was probably with ores. No, it wasn't with ores. Oh, no, the secret weapons. No, I'm not sure. I forgot what it was. But yeah, plotting and the. Oh wait, it was I was thinking about it the other. Oh, this was Sanji. Like,
Okay.
where I was saying how, like, yeah, Zoro's probably more likely Yonko level, and Sanji, I don't know. He could be. I was talking about this the other day with someone, but I need more proof. He hasn't really had any feats yet. He has like, he probably has the Mera no Mi in him, like parts of it, like how what Vegapunk was talking about. He's a clone, or like Sanji's like a crazy clone experiment, where stuff was infused in his DNA, probably different devil fruits. That's why he could bring out fire, because he has that DNA in him. His exoskeleton stronger, so he might be like another kind of Big Mom, like in the making. Like he gave me like how Big Mom's just naturally strong, like a natural wonder. Like I think Sanji might be like that, and then the whole thing, his eyebrow twirls like a devil fruit, and Oda made a big thing about that in an interview. He's like, they're like, so what's up with Sanji's eyebrow? And he's like, oh, he think Oda said he's a devil fruit, said something like that, and that was always. And he has that twirl, and then yeah, he probably has a bunch of devil fruit DNA in him, and he's gonna probably realize that he could turn invisible already without the suit. He could do fire already without the. And then the suit was probably just awakening his devil fruits that he has.
Yeah.
So Sanji could be super OP later on.
He can be. I just wanted to see how he would actually fare against,
Yeah, but right now I think
Mama.
now Yamato's stronger than Sanji. I think. If she had joined.
That's up to debate. Yeah.
And
then again, I mean, she's been battling Kaido her entire life, so she got a lot stronger, a different way. So.
Then looking back, the whole thing with Who's Who, the Toby Robo from Kaido's crew, he's the one that revealed who Nika was. He's the one that said that story. And looking back, it's like, damn, we didn't realize how important that character Nika was gonna be. Yeah, he said.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He said that the guard that told him about Sun God Nika was like killed the next day. Never saw the guard again, and yeah, he never forgot that. Well, because of that, the whole idea of Nika stayed alive. Who's Who was keeping it alive? He told Jinbe about it. Jinbe knew about it. And then what do you know? In that same arc, Luffy awakened the Nika fruit, or is the Nika fruit. I just think that was kind of fascinating. And then back, he was a CP9 member, or was gonna be CP.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Another one was, do you remember Nero? What happened to Nero? The guy Frankie fought on the train. He was supposed to. He was on his way to become a CP9 member. He had just joined, and then they kicked him out.
Yeah.
So maybe he might get on his revenge, and I thought that was really interesting.
Funny. I just recently watched it, and I was like, oh, what did happen to this guy? This guy, I don't know. I really wanted to see, and me and Frank really wanted to see the fight between that guy that I think it was a captain that was on that, the one that ended up getting off the train and walking on the tracks, but Zoro had to get rid of him quickly.
Oh, yeah. I think his name was Onigumo or something like that. The spider guy. He was a vice admiral, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, they've showed him a little bit, but yeah, he hasn't already had screen time like he first time had. Yeah, and then also the guy that broke his sword, that guy has. I think they've just showed him in like anime filler. He came out in one of the One Piece movies, I think, or he came out in film Z.
The Rust guy.
Yeah, all those a lot of those Marines that came out in Water 7, they came out in film Z. Yeah. They were showcasing. Another one is Mamanga. He seems pretty OP. Well, not OP, but he seems strong. But yeah, do you think Garp could beat Blackbeard?
I think whenever they were at Marineford, he could. Now, I don't know. Because, I mean, it would be great to see who Blackbeard has already fought, because I mean, they don't showcase those type of things. I'm assuming that, Luffy, what Luffy's doing, right, where he's having like everyone that he's been challenged, right, everyone else that's trying to get to One Piece is going through similar trials. I'm assuming, right? That's why you see different people land in different areas. For example, like, who was it? What's that? The monkey looking guy with the one that has the extra elbow, whatever the guy.
The music guy.
Like, he originally was part of the New Era, right? And he was gonna try to be going for the One Piece, and eventually, Apu. There you go. All roads lead to the emperors, right? So, I mean, he ended up caving in, and doing his own thing and ended up becoming a subordinate. While the other ones are, they've been doing their own trials and still not, being subdued by anyone up to this point. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is that is it who who did Blackbeard and all of them have to fight to get to the level where they're at now that we don't know of?
Well,
Right,
well,
because that would be a determining factor on how strong this person
well, right
is.
off the bat, the
Because
only time we've seen Shanks sweat or know he sweat was Blackbeard gave him that scar,
Yes.
and he's like, Shanks is like, it's not like I let him give me that scar. And look what the freaking cabin boys or monkey did to Kid. And we already know where Kid kind of is in strength even before Wano. And
But when did he get that? I'm trying to remember. When exactly did he get that scar? Was it prior?
I think it was right before he got together with Luffy. They probably fought. Blackbeard probably was trying to get the devil fruit also from the Marines, the Nika fruit, the one Shanks' crew got, and they probably fought with Blackbeard after that. We don't know, maybe they did. And yeah, Shanks got that scar from Blackbeard. Maybe someone he just caught Shanks off guard, like it was Zebek and the other being inside of Blackbeard.
Because Shanks was already an emperor at that time when he first met Luffy.
I think so, yeah.
Or was he working his way up to be?
I think he was already an emperor, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because like, if that is true, then I don't think he. I don't think on a 1v1 fight that Blackbeard would have been able to do that. So he had to do it in a way where it was very secretive, or he did it without him. Not a fair fight.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he does anyway.
So that might be the only way he'll be able to beat Garp. He's going to have to do something unfair, like use Kobe. Because I think on a one-on-one, I don't think Blackbeard could beat Garp. I think Garp is probably as a master of hockey. Garp might be the strongest character that might showcase the best hockey we've seen in the series yet. Maybe he might showcase it. Well, Shanks probably did already with his hockey. He scared an admiral. Shanks scared an admiral with his hockey, but maybe Garp could do that too. But yeah, on a one-on-one, I think Garp completely cancels out what Blackbeard's trying to accomplish. He can't do it against Garp. Garp doesn't even have a devil fruit. So like I don't see Black unless he's got to do some cheap stuff, like maybe he's gonna have Akuiji fight Garp to prove Akuiji's loyalty, and Garp's gonna be like, just finish it, it's okay, I know you're on our side, don't worry about me, I'm just an old fool. Probably something like that, like the whole Dumbledore and Snape thing. They were both in on it, so Snape just to prove Snape's allegiance with Voldemort. Yes, Snape killed Dumbledore, but it was like, Dumbledore, I made him do it. He's like, I know they were already plotting, like they were in on it. So yeah, he's like, you got to do it in order to gain their trust. Just kill me already. Hurry up.
Damn.
Yeah.
True. Well, we'll see. Well, I gotta hop off here, but let's schedule another one, man, and let's discuss more, because I feel like there's a lot more to discuss.
Yes, yeah, we've been going on for almost an hour and a half. That's more than enough. That's great. Hopefully YouTube lets me upload a whole hour. I was gonna upload this on YouTube also. I'm recording it as well, not just streaming it. Yeah, I'll probably add some music in the background. And but yeah, it was fun talking about it. We'll have more things planned out. I was just throwing out what I've been watching and reading into lately, because we were going to drop this week of One Piece, so watching a lot of videos.
Yep.
Yeah. It was fun. Talk to you again, JTD. I don't know if I should say your real name.
Nah, you're good. You're good. You're good. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna hop off. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, later.
Later.